Conversation, Mr. President. On Wednesday, you said you are hearing that there's what the Gen Zs are saying, and you're going to initiate a conversation. We saw the head of public service release a press release saying that there is now a formation of the National Multi-Sectoral Forum that will bring together all people. And you started having conversation with church leaders. The Gen Z, upon seeing this, are saying, we did not ask for a conversation. We asked for action. So what action is going to precede this conversation? Because the conversation is another talk. It reminds people of the NADCO talks, the BBI talks, IPPG talks that just happen and they just don't end. And people are saying, we want action, Mr. President, right now. Okay, we will participate in action, in conversations maybe later, but for now, now, Mr. President, yes, what's the action?
I promised that I will engage the young people. Yeah, I promised. I was just making good my promise. And I promised a multi-sectoral forum, and that's what I have put out. I also promised that these are some of the topics I want us to discuss. I want us to discuss debt. I want us to discuss taxation. I want us to discuss unemployment. I want us to discuss corruption. I want us to discuss these issues. And it was a suggestion, and I am open. I am hearing that the young people are saying, we don't want a multi-sectoral forum. Maybe we should have an engagement with the president on X. And I am open to having an engagement with the young people on a forum that they are comfortable with.
If they want digital?
If they want me to engage with them on X, I will be there.
At this point, Mr. President, do you think you know what the young people want?
I have many young people in my house.
Are they telling you all is well?
The same ones that are in all these other spaces. And they want an engagement. They have ideas. They have suggestions. And I am open. If what we are doing on the digital space, on the housing program, on the export of labor, on manufacturing, if they have suggestions, I am open to those suggestions. They can improve, they can change, they can make new suggestions. And I also have a responsibility as a father, you know, because these are our children. I have also a responsibility to guide and to listen to them and to tell them, yes, on this, I agree. For example, on let's not have a spouse's office. I agree. Let's not have CASS for now. I agree. Let us not have
advisors.
Advisors. We will agree. Let us not have churches being a space for politics. I agree. So many of these areas, we need to even have a conversation. If we are paying 46% of our revenues for salaries and wages, when the legally established space should be 35%. That is why I started a conversation with Salaries and Remuneration Commission. We must deal with the issue of wages and salaries so that we bring them down to 35% and leave more money for our development. That is a conversation I am very happy about.
When? Mr. President, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks of you saying every day we are going to have a conversation.
We just
you know what they say on social media?
I say
they call you the president of tutafanya, tutatenga, tutafanya, tutarudi.
No,
it is always futuristic.
But I'm here.
You're saying
but I'm here.
We are going to have a conversation.
I said within a week. I gave a timeline. Within a week. Yeah. So within a week we will have agreed on where are we meeting. Are we meeting at the X space? I am ready for that X space. Are we agreeing on this multi-sectoral? I'm waiting to see the suggestions that Kenyans have. I don't want to prescribe any suggestion, but when I give out a suggestion, I expect feedback. I expect people to say, maybe this is okay, maybe this is not okay, and then we agree on a way to move.
Mr. President, any of them analyzing what you have actually said tonight on the issue of your advisors, your cabinet, what you're going to do, what Kenyans like to call heads that are going to roll as a result of this national shame, because that is what many people have called it. You have said, watch this space. And here there are all these other things that young people are asking you about. What is that concrete thing that you're telling them tonight that I have heard you? These are the things I've heard you say since all these things started, and this is what I have done. Because you seem to have withdrawn or declined to sign this finance bill rather grudgingly, but not in good faith, having understood what people were saying. You're regretting this thing. You're saying, you guys mutaona, mmekataa lakini mutaona. That is what we're hearing.
Let me tell you that I will not lie to the country that putting down the finance bill is going to be easy. I'll not be a leader. I have to be brutally honest. And those consequences, it will start with me. To cut down the budget in my office, to remove what we call austerity, to implement an austerity program that will cut down on unnecessary stuff, unnecessary offices, or offices that we can take down. I am ready to even engage the young people and for them to, because they want an engagement. I too want an engagement for us to agree. So what do we do with the debt? What do we do with the following? What do we do with the following? They will tell me, do this, fire so-and-so, fire so-and-so, do this. And I will tell them what is possible and what I think we could do it differently. Or are you telling me that I should just listen and implement without making a contribution to the conversation? I thought we are having a conversation.
I'm just telling you what they are saying. I'm not saying anything else. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing, because yes, you did say you are not in their spaces, but I am in their spaces.
And in 2 weeks, Your Excellency, by now you'd have known what you should do. And I mean, there are basics.
Which 2 weeks?
2 weeks of the riots and 2 weeks of the protests. It's been 2 weeks.
It started the other Monday. So let me ask you, Linus, the protests, I finally decided that because we didn't communicate sufficiently to the people of Kenya the import of the finance bill, and there was so much built around it, including a lot of fake things, that were not in the finance bill. Many things that were not in the finance bill were used to fight the finance bill. And at some point, many people did not even care what was in the finance bill. Do not care. I think, at some point, as leaders, we must stop somewhere and say, we have a country to run. I mean, we cannot be reckless. We must, at some point, stop and say, what are the consequences? Because everything we do has consequences. And we must be careful as a nation to make sure that our country does not go down to the dogs. And believe me, countries, have gone in the wrong direction. And we must be careful. And I don't want to be the leader that took the country in the wrong direction. We must be measured. We must be careful. We must listen to the young people. We must listen to other views and be able to make a carefully well thought out plan for the country out of where we are.